But yeah, maybe I'm sure not every one of my viewers know you. So when you want, or when you would describe you in some words where you're on and off track, what would you say?
On and off track, I'm more the all rounder, I would say, because I do racing, I do commentary, sim racing, moderation. For larger events, I work at the F1 paddock as well. I'm a full time event manager, so I do pretty much everything in my life. And then besides in my free time, I just spend everything which is related to motorsport. So some people call me crazy, but I like it. I'm normal because motorsport is where we are in this world, and we all are the same, kind of. So yeah,
Yes, definitely.
it's actually me, passionate about it and just living every minute I can with motorsport.
And I mean, the most important stuff is, I mean, people can call you crazy, but I mean, the most important stuff is that you love what you do. So
Yeah.
I think that's the most important stuff. I mean, I notice a bit. I mean, I have a normal paid job 4 days a week, and the rest is motorsport work. So
Yeah.
when you
True.
have your free time, this is my free time. I love
Yeah,
it what I
exactly.
do. So it's okay. It's just what I want to do. So that's cool, and that's what I love. So please don't call me crazy.
Exactly.
So yeah, the F1 paddock you joined last year, right? Or was it this year? No,
It
this
was
year is
last
not
year.
possible. We have February.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, what was it? 2 years ago already. I just sometimes you just mix it up. It is for before Corona, after Corona, during
It's
Corona.
crazy, yeah.
So it's so crazy because I think it's now the second year. Yeah, sometimes you lost you lose count in when you started when. But no, yeah, I've just joined the paddock and had a lot of races which I attended, which is pretty cool. So my first one was Zandvoort, and yeah, then I just it went on, and this year, when everything is turning out smoothly, I joined 13 races, which is a lot.
That's
Yeah,
definitely a lot around the world. So it's not
yeah,
just Europe or whatever, it's around the world. That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to it. So there will be some highlights, and I just noted down my special ones I want to attend. So will be cool.
Fingers crossed that works out.
Yeah. Thank-
I mean, that's quite a cool stuff to do and to enjoy the surroundings and the people and the different tracks you see. I mean, some of them you maybe never would see without it. I
exactly.
don't know. So pretty cool stuff. So
Yeah, that's true because I mean, I joined two F1 races in my life before that because I couldn't afford the others. So I just
yes.
watched with my parents because I wanted to give this as a gift to them. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I think it was back then in 2015. And before that, I was just joining Hockenheimring, actually, the old good times with Mercedes on the Mercedes corner, the famous one. So it was a long time ago. But these are the only two F1 races I actually attended in life. But since I'm 10, I watched every single one, even at 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Yes.
all my life, where I can really relate to and can really memorize everything, I just have F1 all the time with me. So it's just crazy. And always I have to just kick myself and say, "Really, is this a dream, or you're working with the F1 team? This is awesome. That's actually what I always wanted to have, and now it's happening, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege. Actually, I have to say,
Yeah, it's a crazy time. And I mean, I think you agree some stuff happens you would say 2 years ago you would never believe this could happen. So
true.
that's so cool to see how all the work works out at the end. And I mean, I remember you started really late into motorsport, driving yourself. Driving
That's true.
yourself? Driving, yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's right.
yeah.
So I forgot what I wanted to say. Damn. But okay.
About my history, probably. Yeah.
So
No, it's true. I started at the age of 24 because before that, I had no opportunity to race. I had no contacts. My parents were not at all involved in motorsport. Besides, I only just, yeah, actually just pushed them to watch with me F1 all the time. This is the only thing where they actually went in front of the TV and just sat together. But the rest, I actually tried to figure out myself how I can enter the sport. none of my friends were racing race car drivers. None of them were car drivers. So I actually have to try to find a community. And back then, when I started, I was the only girl racing in karting. So I joined. Just a friend of mine just said, "Come, let's go karting because you're a really good driver and you just always want to race. Why you not start with karting?" I said, "Well, yeah, it seems like this is something you should do." So we went there and I just joined a nice race where everybody just laughed at me and said, "Well, yeah, you just drove 10 minutes and now you think you can just make it to 1 hour?" And I said, "Yeah, we'll finish this hour no matter what, how I look like afterwards." And I really had 10 minutes training on this track indoor. And then I raced 1 hour and I was not last. And this was where I said, okay, if I'm not last, I continue. And luckily that happened because if I would not have started, all these opportunities would not have come. So I'm always happy that I made the decision, said, okay, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of time I spend, but it's so worthy. And now also then transitioning from karting, then when I had my budget saved, this is all my money. So I don't have sponsors. I paid it myself. In 2016, I started to drive in a race car, also a small series, but at least I could then step up to Nordschleife, and this is where I want to race all the time. And now I'm there. So this is sometimes really a dream, which I made myself available to. So it's hard of work, a lot of dedication, but it's worth it all the time.
And that's the most important thing, I think. So, and the Nordschleife is it's famous, so it's an
Yeah,
amazing track. So, can imagine that's amazing to drive on this track and to enjoy it all the long
it is.
track.
Yeah,
The best track, yeah. Patty says it. Hi Kim,
it's true.
welcome in.
Yeah, it's true. So there are a lot of great racetracks out there, but the excitement and the difficult situations you always have when you just drive on a Nordschleife is every second it's changing conditions,
Yeah.
kind of, depending on the weather, depending on the track evaluation, depending on all the other cars around you. So there could always be an accident, an incident, and you have to be really on it, focused all the time. But when you're in your zone, you would definitely don't want to stop. So last time when I raced, I was really happy because my times was the best time on the car. So I drove the quali best lap time and then also started the race on the car. And that was so crazy because when I never had a race start before, and then I was privileged to do that. And you wave to all the marshals, to all the fans 1 round before you actually start the race. And I was just literally waving all the time. And oh, I have to concentrate on my race start. And then I was so focused that I could overtake a lot of cars already before the first corner because they kind of missed the start. I don't know. And that was pretty awesome because on the sprint course, I was just speeding up a lot and could help to improve the lap times and also our position before we actually went onto Nordschleife then into the first round. And then after 7 rounds, I have to just come back to the pits for fuel. And I said, I want to go on. Yeah, you have to come, please. And it was like, box, box. I was like, okay, last chance to actually box. That was pretty cool. I was so pumped. I actually wanted to sit in the car and do a double stint, but yeah, I had to swap. But it's always like this. You just can't stop.
Forever. You want to drive forever. When it
Yeah,
could be possible, then
yeah,
let's go.
true.
So welcome in Kim, welcome in Ollie, welcome on stream, in stream, at stream, whatever. So yeah, I think that's pretty amazing. And I mean, when you do this all on your own and you work your way up and earn the own money for all the stuff, it's so much worth it. And I think so much, yeah, hard blood in it to do this and to want it and to know why you do this or why you do all the stuff, why you, I don't know, work overtime or do an extra job or whatever to get the money collected for a race, a season, whatever you can afford. And I think that's pretty cool. And you need to do the first step. So
Yeah.
as you said before, you so happy you started karting, so you have to do the first step to can continue and to can found what you love. And
Yeah.
that's so cool. I'd love to see people actually out there in the world to have dreams and battle or fighting for their dreams and just do what they love, because so many people out there are so sad and would say gray because they have no real passion in life or whatever, and it's so nice to see someone out there just pushing for their dreams and doing whatever they can to achieve their goals, and that's so cool.
Yeah, and it's a motivator to all the others because people always ask me, "How did you made it?" I mean, it's a lot of money. Yes, it is, but I'm not a millionaire, so I have to just work pretty hard to get my money together. Um, and luckily, I mean, last year a tiny sponsor, Geeks Energy, just joined me and helping me with my racing helmet. So they at least, yeah, gave me the racing helmet, the new one I have, hopefully actually introduced this year, then finally in a race. So I just made everything possible to bring him on board and changed my colors due to this sponsor. But otherwise, it's just, yeah, it's a tiny step, but the rest comes out of my pocket, and this is the biggest part anyway. And I mean, if you drive on a Nordschleife, the costs are pretty intense. And with all the crisis we had, I mean, we don't have to talk about this. Fuel is increasing, and this is what you have to pay. So all the budget goes up all the time. This is nothing that you can say, okay, we will maybe save at one point a bit of a dollar. No, it's just really increasing money, and all the, yeah, all the parts on the cars are getting more expensive every time, the tires and stuff. So it's a tricky year, or a tricky like period to start racing. But still, now people dream of it and say, yeah, I know it's hard, but at least if you can afford only one race, why? That's just was what I always told myself. I always wanted to have at least one race. And I knew if I start with one race, I want to have more. So I tried to figure out how I can at least have a low budget season. And then from there, I knew when I switched to NLS or 24 hours race, it's just one race a year, but it is the biggest one, or the one I wanted to drive, because I always wanted to drive endurance. And if I can't race a full season, at least I have my highlights, and still I'm on the track. So although I can't just now pay a full season, I come back even after 2 years break or 1 year break, and then I jump into the car and I start not from scratch, but I start where I left off the last time, and I have to improve on the simulator. Now, luckily, we have a simulator where we can always train on, because karting helps a bit, but doesn't help if you want to race on a racetrack. So this is a big step now, that you have the opportunity to train in the winter and during it on the simulator, and you can jump into a car without actual track time, and start off where you left off.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, simulators are growing so much into the motorsport world. I mean, we have some sim racers here on chat. Paddy is doing the what you do? You do the 24 hours of Nürburgring? I don't know what the next is. You
Yeah,
talked on
racing, yeah.
stream earlier. So I think this is a whole word, but helps the real track racers as well. So I do all of them. Yeah, that's true, Paddy. You would do 24, 48 hours races when you could. So um, yeah, that helps to learn a track. I mean, it's still different on a simulator, I would say, but it's still helping you, I think, to get some spots on the track, how it's the line or whatever, or to
Yeah.
see difference between sections or whatever. So, but I mean, I think to drive there in real is again much better.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a different story, but most of them really have the chance to drive. Even especially, you can just check the tire deck, and also you can start and train a race start with the same competitors around you. You can try to fight with this, and 48 hours, we can sign up. Yeah, actually, we had one guy. He was driving two 24 hours races all alone
Oh my goodness.
on, yeah, on Assetto Corsa. So he was really crazy. Oh no, ACC it was actually.
Paddy, it was not
ACC.
as well. It was not you.
No, it
I'm
wasn't me. So
shocked.
I'm sure, yeah. Oh, he was driving two times the 24 hours race, different ones. I think it was Suzuka and another one they had it, and he was really literally 24 hours in this rig. And he was actually first. So this is how crazy it is. He was a pretty good sim racer, and he still does it today. So, but it's a hard time to do this all alone. But yeah, Patty, I think you're up for it, right?
He definitely is. They done the 24 hours sim race in Daytona some weeks ago, and there was, so after the race ended after 24 hours, okay, what we do on the evening? We could do this and this race. they're all they're all crazy. But that's a
And
passion.
actually, did you start with your kind of motorsport passion? This is what I never asked you, I guess. How long is that ago when you started?
I started my parents or my dad more or less watched Formula One, so I
Hmm.
watched it since I was a baby. And then I got into F1 with, I think I was 10, as I really, really, really was interested and read all the stuff. And I got this F1 magazine from my grandma. She bought it, I think every month it was out. She bought it for me and stuff. And then I experienced the champ car. And
Yeah.
then I was lost. So it more or less started with Kimi in Formula One, and then with champ cars, Sebastian Bourdais and stuff. That was my time.
Yeah, this was so funny. I think we talked about it last time in my interview,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
When I was in Portland standing in the rain.
yes.
I got a picture of him. I was like, okay.
That's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something you maybe dream of, but you never think it could happen. So I mean, maybe you need to tell the story for the chat as well, so that they know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny because I had a students exchange, or actually a school exchange with Portland. And yeah, the family I was living with, they did not had actually a motorsport connection at all. They were like, yeah, whatever. And I couldn't take the bus to the racetrack. And I just saw in the newspaper that there was a champ car training. And I said, oh my God, when I'm here and there's a champ car training, no matter what they do, I have to be there. It was pouring rain. It was freaking cold. And I just talked to my teacher and I said, okay, can you drive me? Because I have no idea how I get there and I'm alone. So, I mean, I was 15. And I said, okay, just no, not a problem. I will just take you. They dropped me off. Nobody was at the grandstand. I couldn't see a person. So I was standing there in the pouring rain with my raincoat and was sitting on a bench and watched the jump car training. And Sebastian Bourdais literally stopped on track in front of me, and there was a gate to the pit entry. And the security guard, when they were kind of finished, I just thought, okay, now they're finished. I was already frozen to ice. And after I think it was 2 hours sitting there, I just stood up and went to the exit to just call my teacher to pick me up. The security guard saw me and said, girl, what are you doing here in the rain? Nobody's watching, but you are watching since 2 hours. I saw you sitting there. Are you crazy? What's the deal? And I said, yeah, I'm from Germany, and yeah, I'm a crazy motorsport fan. And he was like, all right, do you want to go into the pit lane? I was like, yeah. And he took me to the other side. So I was literally standing the first time in a Gem Cup pit. I mean, Jimmy Johnson and all the big bosses running around and drivers there. And Sebastian Bourdais went by. So, hi, how you doing? I was like, hi, guys. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I just stood there and everybody said, do you want to take a picture? I said, so the security guard actually took pictures of with all the drivers, and they were so cool. I mean, the cars were standing around. It was just not an official. I mean, it was official in newspapers, but it was just a training. And I was like, this is so surreal. And I stood there for another half an hour. And then actually my teacher called, do you want to be picked up? I said, yes, please. So this was the
No.
best time, the best 30 minutes then back then. You can't believe this, right? When you just go to Portland and then you see all these drivers you normally only know from TV, and then you're like, okay, guys, you're here. This was really cool. Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, that would
I still
never
have,
happen in Germany. Never.
and they asked me, oh, you came all the way just from Germany to see the race. I was like, yeah, kind of, if you think like that. Not really, but yeah. So right, if you think that I just only flew there for this, but it was cool. Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it's so cool. I mean, you dream of stuff like this. It's so crazy, and it's happening. It's so cool,
Yeah. So
especially when you're 15 years old, and
yeah.
that change. I think that changed so much in you, and to, oh yes, I want to do this. They are all so cool. I want to do this myself. That's so cool.
And I came home and I was completely pumped, and I talked to my exchange family, and they were like, you say some names, we have no idea we are into football. I said, all right, just forget about it.
Yeah,
All
that's when you
right.
don't talk to petrol heads again.
Yeah.
So that's wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, King Ride, it was worth singing in the rain after all, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the
I won't
way,
regret
welcome
it.
in.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So yeah, that's so cool. I mean, It never happened to me. But hey,
But when
I'm
you
running
come,
now into the pit lane, so it's all good.
yeah, so when you come to the Nürburgring, please come by and stop by in the pit lane because then you can see all the drivers. So
Definitely.
yeah,
I will do this. I will do this not as media, but I will definitely come.
perfect.
I promise Patty not to work at this weekend. I will work after this weekend, so Monday I will do this.
That's good.
At this time, yes. But yeah, we will definitely come. So we come both then, I think. So we will
That's
both
cool.
come to the bit to the bits to the pits.
Yeah, and I can show you around because we have two boxes, which are pretty big, and we have a box for just the mechanics and the other one for the cars and spectators. So I can show you around.
That's great. Yeah, Patty, I would wreck you with me, so I will grab you on your shirt and then you come with me.
No escaping.
Real. You wanted to go with me there, so now you need to do this. Oh, that would be so cool. I'm still looking forward to May. That would be so great. Can't wait till the motorsport season already really
Yeah,
starts.
definitely.
So
Winter is always hard.
yes, I mean we have some work to do because some of the winter series we have to write about and stuff, but it's not the same when you're watching this at home and not going to tracks. So it's not the same. You're riding with the drivers, or sometimes you call them for feedbacks or whatever, but it's just not the same.
True.
So, but I can't afford all the flies to, I don't know.
Look for a sponsor.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I need some. But yeah. I mean, I never know what will happen. So I,
Exactly.
I remember me, let's say 2 years ago, I said I will never stream because I don't like streaming.
You see now, you're streaming. Come on. Yeah.
Yes, and people watching me and even pay for me. So that's so
See?
crazy.
Yeah, you just take all the opportunities you have. You never know which steps you take. That's the thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's so true. And to do step after step, not thinking about the biggest goal, what I could ever reach or whatever, just to think about the steps I can now do to see the path and just see what can happen. I mean, it's so crazy. The world is so crazy. I mean, I was thinking I would never come to motorsport again in this way, and then Dan from Racers wrote me if I want to join a project, and now I'm media on racetracks and stuff like this. So never expected this. So it's cool.
Yeah, behind the scenes is always great, and if you can actually step into it, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you find getting sponsorship in the early days?
Yeah, actually, I think I just said it before. I have just now a sponsor since last year, a tiny one who helps me with paying the helmet at least. So that's quite good because helmets are also expensive, and I needed a new one. So actually, people try, and this is a sponsor who comes from sim racing. So he had probably heard me on a stream, and we met actually at the sim racing expo at the Nürburgring, and then we talked. So then the best thing actually to attract sponsors or at least to talk to them is in meeting in person, because I have a sponsor brochure on my website. I wrote emails just out of the blue. It's not going to work. So if you really want to chase sponsors, and this is a full-time job, which I can't do on top of my full-time jobs I have, and I'm pretty sure that it will work, but I'm anyway paying it out of my own pocket because then I'm independent and I'm too old to chase the sponsors. So um, if you want to do the hard work, you get them, but you have to, for example, if you're a young driver, like say 12 to 16, or you just started, you get it easily because then they have a development in you and you can prove them, invite them to the racetracks, for example, when you're karting. And most sponsors come from your own family. That's what I heard quite often. If you don't have a big company owner in your family and they can really afford a tiny budget to spend on you, then you at least get some more because they talk to each other. And if you have a network of people and it brings value to the other sponsors, then it's good to have a networking event or invite them all into the pit lane, for example. This is what some do. But mostly they come from your own town if they have enough budget left to spend on sponsoring. Some companies actually don't do it at all because they're afraid of tax reasons and don't know how to do it. So if it's a small company, they normally say, well, I don't do it. or they already have drivers. So it's hard to find sponsors within the industry because all the ones are already taken, and they have long-term relationships with the drivers who are actually competing on high levels. So I'm not competing in international level besides the 24 hours race. So this is what you can't compare. Sometimes you get sponsors for a specific race, if you plan for it, but other, if you want to have a full-time sponsorship, you really have to do the hard work and network all the time and pretty much talk to them consistently, penetrating them. Some do that as well, knocking on their door, standing in front of them and say, look, this is what I do. You really have to sell yourself. And I have, I'm not good in selling myself, to be honest. So, because I always think there are people who are better than me, that's why I always try to just do my own way. And it's fine for me just not to yeah, get big sponsorships, because then you also have the liability of proving that you actually can do it if you don't have the time. And if you're not full-time racer, it's definitely not working out in that sense. But yeah, for people who do this for life and for living, it's easy to get then sponsorships if you know people and they know people, because then you do this as a full-time job. I do it just as a hobby.
It's all about knowing the right people,
Yeah,
as mostly in life. So, or
yeah,
you need to have much of luck. Oh,
yeah,
very rich parents. So
definitely.
that
All of
works
this can help.
also.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this is a side of motorsport. I think many people, or especially fans and spectators that are not that into behind the scenes of motorsport, forget. So that you have really such a big work behind the scenes, on the table or on the desk, you need to do. So finding sponsors and doing stuff like this. And I think that's the side the most forget that
Yeah,
this
no,
even exists.
yeah, yeah, it's full-time job to actually find sponsors and work with them. That's actually somebody you can pay for to do the job 24/7. Yeah. So if you have the whole time to do this on your own, then it's not really working out the way it should. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Coming back to the, oh wait, there's another question. What is your best memory of racing?
Hmm. There are a lot of also in karting. I start with karting and then I go to racing. So in karting, I attended the 77 hours and 99 hours kart race world record once in Berlin, where we had 700, 800 drivers. It was insane because it was literally 1 week of driving and partying and not sleeping and yeah, having a lot of fun. Um, we actually had the chance to really drive in a team of 10 people a lot of times in the go-kart, and so much driving we'll never get again. We also had rainstorms, thunderstorms in the middle of the races, both races, where we had to stop and just collect all the tents who were, who were flying away, grabbing car parts which were ripped off. So it was pretty intense to just get the race back together, because if you stop a world record, then it's hard to, you have to prove that it was on force majeure. So it was a great experience, and times everybody who attended still speaks of today. So hopefully at one time we find the right people to organize the 111 hours race, because that was still is in the in a discussion to do this. That's what I really remember. I also remember a 24 hours race at karting in Dubai, where I was driving with Fernando Alonso together on the track. This was pretty cool because we all saw him passing by, and I was like, this guy looks like Fernando Alonso, but nah, cannot happening. Nah, it's can't be happening. And we just checked the actual flyer and the booklets for all the drivers, and actually his name was on it. And I was like, ah, this is a nickname or something. No, it was actually him, and he was standing there all the time, 24 hours with the team. I thought he just drives 1 hour and he goes back to the hotel and is like, yeah, bye, I'm gone. No, he was literally doing all the work and sleeping on the ground. So that was pretty amazing to see that. And Carlos Sainz was also there, but he was not so visible as Fernando Alonso. So yeah, it was crazy times. And in racing, yeah, I think the best one was for me where I was actually starting the NLS race and being the fastest on the team. I was only one time the slowest on a car, which was really not the nicest thing to have, because then you always hinder your colleagues. But this was my first NLS race where I just was kind of trying to keep up with the pace. but still at the end I was close to their lap times. So this was kind of a good memory, but it's always better if you are already confident with the car. So this was actually the race where I could drive the start, and it was the best one because the conditions were perfect, the car was perfect, we had good situations, good fights. So that's the one I remember.
The good memories. So what I wanted to ask
Hmm.
before another question is no, talking about the sim racing commentator stuff for the sentence. I remember it was quite funny. You got into this commentating scene or whatever we want
Yeah.
to call it.
Yeah, true. Back in 2018, one of the CEOs of a sim racing center said to me, "Well, you drive now. You just have driven. We need a commentator. You do this now. Go into the box, and we start a stream in 5 minutes." I was like, "Ah, okay." So I was literally sitting in front of a PC. I had no idea of what I'm doing, and I had another commentator colleague with me who still does it today, and also he's streaming and do all the yeah, kind of editing stuff behind the scenes. And we looked at each other, was like, "Do you know what I'm doing?" And he said, "I don't have no idea. Let's do it." And we were like just starting into the stream. And actually, if you don't know how to and on how the simulator works and the simulation works, it's quite tricky. But the good thing is, I was driving before on the simulation, which we actually also broadcasted, so I couldn't talk about what I was doing. And literally, it was just commentating on the picture you see. So I know how to commentate on a race because when I was a little child and F1 was on TV, I was always commentating myself. Yeah, my
Yes.
dad's always like, "Can you shut up?" So I want to be the commentator on TV and not you. But it's like, oh yeah, I love to do that, and I can talk. That's pretty much, I guess, obviously, what everybody figures out right now. So I literally, yeah, did my first commentary, and from then I, yeah, got more on jobs and did more other simulators as well, simulations, iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and all this stuff. And from there, I also went into real racing commentary for the DMV series in Germany's. And yeah, let's see what comes. I was also opening the NLS stream at one time last year, which was also pretty cool. I really like to do it. So commentary is what I love more than moderation, but I also got many jobs as a moderator for different kind of motorsport events right now, even if it's a ceremony or actually I was attending a Hallentrial. This is like a trial event in Germany from ADAC a few weeks ago. Never commentated on this one, but it was pretty fun. And if you know motorsport in general, you can just literally quickly pick up all the other actions on track, and commentating on real and sim is pretty cool.
I believe. I was watching trials in my childhood, but I forgot all about it. And then I was seeing this on your Insta story, and I was so, wait, I remember this. I'm pretty
And
sure I saw this one time.
yeah, and it's so funny if you hear yourself, and in some simulation centers they still have the old live streams up on TV, and then you hear yourself all the time, and then people just stop by. "I know this voice. Is it you?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's me." So it's so funny.
No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, Chat is saying was easily better than RTL commentary.
Yeah, sometimes people say that as well, so it's funny, but okay, when you are a child, you don't know that much, but yeah, now it's better. I have more knowledge.
We all have our memories. At least the Germans on the stream have their memories with Formula One on RTL. So,
True.
I mean, those times are over, but yes, I remember myself. So, I want to watch it without the commentary, but I want to hear the cars. Damn.
Yeah, the thing is, it's good if you have people who have driven before or know what they say about driving. That's helpful. I think it helps if many commentators at least have the chance at one time, if they are not a full race car driver, it doesn't matter, but at least if they have the chance to one time drive in a car in a race, because then you know all the details behind it, how tricky it is actually from a driver's perspective. But I mean, Christian Danner was the one who actually was driving a lot, so he could actually be the expert. And I mean, he was actually talking good stuff. Yeah, so he knows what he was talking about, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always about the actual how you say it, the actual personality you bring into this and how you come across.
That's true, and I think the other point is how much you want to get into the stuff itself. So, I mean, when you're not interested in it, I remember I watched the Finnish motorsports stream, different story, but they stopped the race because of a red flag. And I was so, damn, will they restart the race? Will they not restart the race? Whatever. I wrote a Finnish racing driver I know and was asking what he is talking, if the race will come back or not, because I can't finish. And she was so, doesn't matter if you know Finnish or not. This guy has no idea about racing. He don't even know what a red flag is. And I was so, oh my goodness. So, or I
Yeah.
mean, then always telling stories from Sky Italy, they get the IndyCar names wrong and stuff like this. For when I think that's the easiest thing you can do when commentating, just read the name. So
Yeah, that should be easy. I mean, if you don't pronounce it right, but at least you can ask the driver before, how do you want to be pronounced, right? So,
right, so that's sometimes
homework.
so strange when I think just have a bit of a knowledge, read a bit. When I write a series for racers or whatever I never saw before, I read rules and some stuff I can recognize into the series and learn about the series. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it
true.
should be normal, but it's not normal. And by the way, Linda, welcome in. We haven't this question so far, so we can ask this question. I know you're all hyped on this question. The chat wants to know if you like pineapple on your pizza or not.
This is so funny. We had the question all the time on our chat, and definitely no. I'm
So
not a Pizza Hawaii fan. No, I'm sorry.
it's 2-0 against pineapple on this chat with format.
I can say because I ate it once. It's like with toast Hawaii. I ate also one time pineapple on a pizza, and I can definitely relate. Mm-mm.
Yes. But the funny thing is, Dan was here the first. We asked this question on the chat in January, and he's Italian, so it was pretty obvious what his answer would be. So.
Patty is leaving the chat. All right. Okay, he's the one for pineapple, right? Or no?
Yes, he definitely is. But Linda likes pineapple too on her pizza, and I'm kinda it's okay, so I would eat it. So,
It's not like you would choke up, but yeah. If I
but
have an opinion, I mean, like, if I can choose, uh, yeah, I would definitely do another combo.
yes, but I fear I think it will be definitely a running gag now. So
It will be.
we will always have this question in this chat. So I'm pretty interested what score we have at the end for or against the pineapples on pizza.
Yeah,
Uh,
continue it. Yeah.
Yes, it's so cool. I asked I asked on my Discord server, so when you can't join the chat or the stream or whatever, which question we should ask, and it was this pineapple question all over the place. So it's so cool. It's kind of funny, so I like this. And welcome in, Killing. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Any other questions which we have to cover
yeah.
today?
Chat when you want, just drop it out. I mean, I can remember some more. If not, if you have not any questions or whatever, my English is dropping down
It's not.
from my brain. Whee!
No, it's good.
But it's the same with German, so it's not an English problem. It's mostly just a brain problem.
I can relate to this because when I commentate, I sometimes have this mix up in my words. So this is normal. Everybody in on sim racing chats, they know already my something about words. They make a fun of it because we always just have people giggling in the back when I just twist words around. So it's fine. All
it
good.
it's so normal. I mean, when I watch my streams sometimes later because I want to cut out highlights or whatever, I sometimes what you said there, what the hell? I even didn't noticed it when I actually talk. It's just later. So what the hell you was talking there? That's so good. Zamu wants to know what is the best advice you ever got.
Hmm. In life, in general, in motorsport, I just think about the thing is what when I started with racing or whatever I just start with, it doesn't matter if it's racing or in general. People always try to, and also on commentary, they said even in school, you have to be slowing down, speak slower, be someone else, try to be like this, try to check what others are doing, try to be more them. This is what I heard all the time. And at one point I said, okay, yeah, I can train on trying to speak slower, but then this is not me, right? So I'm talking with hands, I'm passionate, I'm just like 100% full gas all the time. So if I'm not myself, then take it or leave it. This is what I actually said to them. If you want me as a package, as a person, as a personality, I'm like this. So I can't just change myself in that direction because then it would not be my authentic self. And this was actually the best advice I gave myself in that sense, to not try to be forced into a box by others. And this is the advice I actually give also to young people who just say, how should I do this? Who should I follow? What should I do better? How should I become? I said, you become yourself, and you frame yourself, because you can't play a game, you can't play a role 24/7 your entire life. Some people can, they switch the flip and then they are completely different people. I can't. So if you like my package, if you like me, the same with sponsors. If I said, okay, we can do a lot of things, or in general, if, at my work, I am pretty good at my work. So if you're happy with it, take it or leave it. So, and this is the advice I can give to everyone: be yourself.
Yeah, and there are so many others, but it's just one you. So I think
Yeah,
that's definitely a thing. I've come so what I can't read. I've come in late, so missed a bit. But can I ask what Laura does?
sure, I can repeat. That's not a problem. Yeah, so first of all, I'm a full time event manager. I organize conferences and events. And besides that, in my free time, I'm dedicated and passionate to motorsport. So I'm a race car driver on the Nürburgring. I do commentary on sim racing and real racing. And I work as well as an F1 Paddock Club expert host.
Absolute multi-talent. So killing. He missed as well a bit of the stream, but I can try a few. Did you start with karting as well?
Yes, I did, like all the others, because I mean, I started when I was 24. Now you can do the calculation. I'm born in 1984, so you know how old I am. So back then, actually, when I started, there was not really the chance to do a full proper simulation. So that's why simulating came later, and this is why I started with karting.
Who's race?
Yeah,
Who's a
what was the racing
racing
driver got
driver?
into racing?
Yeah, the sentence was so strange. But the question is, yeah.
Yeah, actually, all the F1 drivers I can say, because back then I wanted to become a race car driver when I was 10, and my parents said, yeah, sure, not. So um, there is, this was what I asked, yeah, quite often. So there, I not really have an idol, as to say, because there are many drivers in many disciplines which I admire for their work. Now, because I follow the sport more deeply over the last decades, and when I became a race car driver myself, I can relate to some of them, where I see how they are as a person, because you meet them maybe also in person and follow them in a certain way. You can tell who is actually one of the favorites. But I did not have one person, like everybody said, I'm a Michael Schumacher fan from the beginning and he inspired me. No, he didn't. So I wasn't a Michael Schumacher fan, I have to say.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, I don't know why, but yeah, I cannot really say who actually brought me into this scene. It was F1 in general, I can say, and all then motorsport related stuff came. NASCAR, I watched IRL, Champ Car, ALMS, so all race car drivers.
I mean, I think that's a pretty difficult question because mostly you have not this one idol. You have some drivers or whatever you have, and you take one piece of them and one piece of them and one piece of them, so that you can, yeah, favor this thing you like on a driver and to build your own um idol, whatever, but it's not one person mostly. So I think this question, I asked this question a lot in my own interviews for our race drivers, but I know how difficult this question is to answer with one person. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Do you find it hard to fit in as a female race driver?
Still, sometimes it is hard today as well. But I have to say, when I started, it was a nightmare compared to what it is now. So I think most of the women have done their work, the organizations have done their homework. to bring more females into the sport, do also talent scouting, and start at an early age to really bring girls into this motorsport world. But when I started, yeah, I was one of 80 people, one female in the paddock
Yep.
for karting. So I could not talk to anyone. I actually felt more like a guy in that sense because I was treated like a guy, which was fine, but you acted like a guy on track as well. So you stopped as a race car driver to be like a girl. I just really dressed shitty in that sense. So because I was not caring about my hair, I just put it on and put it on the cappy and all that stuff. So you literally were the same. You were aggressive on track. You were behaving the same. You tried to fit in as a girl, like to be a man, right? So this was kind of weird. Because if you just had your nails done, your hair done, if you walked in like with high heels and then changed into the racing suit, everybody looked like you were you like the grid girl, right? So this is what we didn't try to do. So we always had jeans on and sneakers and really lazy shirts and stuff. So then you were accepted, which is funny. But I have to say, some said, you can be a girl. Even men said that to me. And I was like, okay, can I be that? Because you don't respect me as a girl when I'm dressing up like this or behaving like this, right? If you like being frustrated, coming out of the cart, yelling at everyone because you were angry about yourself mostly, and then everybody said, oh, don't be like a girl. I said, yeah, you guys also like being acting out, right? If you are not happy with your performance. But I could not relate to anyone. I could not go to anyone. So still today, you always get the jokes from mechanics, from other colleagues. Yeah, you could be faster. You could do this more like this. You could be more like that. You can do like this, but you like blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to it. It's just chat. And people actually want to bring the worst out of you. So I don't relate to this anymore because when you go through this, it's not a pain process, but if you go through this hard time where you can't talk to a female and share the same fear, anxiety, anger, emotions, right? You just hold it back, check it with yourself, and then you don't relate to the others. This is better now if you can at least talk to a female driver about the same issues you might have. But all the female drivers today still try to figure it out on their own because in all the racing series they compete in, they're still too little, right? So you
Yep.
always, as a female driver, have to figure it out yourself, kind of. And what I think is really a problem still, female drivers should support their female peers even more and more often and connect to them. And what I sometimes still see that female drivers be aggressive to other female drivers, trying to push them away because you want to be the queen,
Yeah.
right? When I was racing, yeah, I was the queen. I was the only girl on track. But now you have more girls and you look like the others. "Ah, she's more pretty. She's more faster. She's like this and that." Don't stop it because if we don't get our shit together, sorry, my language, but if we as
Right.
women don't support each other more than female drivers around the world, and more just looking at the men, this is still a problem. So if we try to connect more, it becomes more easier to every female driver out there.
Yep.
Long answer, sorry, but I
All
wanted
good, all
to
good. That's why we're doing this here. And I think it's definitely getting better, but it's still not there
yeah,
where it should be. So
yeah,
it's
true.
still a long, long way to go, I would say. So yeah. I have a
Because we always
question.
have the same bias, always the same connections, the same
Yeah.
issues. We had the same comments every time again.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I'm a bit on a different side because I'm not racing. I'm just media in the paddock, but I see this as well that there are so many men, and I'm mostly the only girl there doing
Hmm.
media stuff. I mean, I think on the media side it's maybe a bit better than for the racing stuff, but not really sure. But I remember so many media rooms and whatever. I was the only girl there, and there was just men around me, and sometimes it was kind of strange. So you just need to do your own thing and
Yeah.
to work as good as you can through these times, especially when you have someone who is maybe this stream is up from 18, so I can say this is an asshole. So you just need to do this, and when you find more girls in the surroundings of you don't should bitch fighting or whatever. You should do, yeah, support each other because it's so important, and to just push you and push the others, and yeah, going straight forward. That should be the way, but we know some people don't want to be nice. So
Yeah,
But
true.
yeah. So for the female stuff, I come later back to another question, but I just want to go into the chat. What is a track in the world you never raced on but would love to?
Um, I would love to drive in Bathurst
Ooh.
because that's actually related to Nordschleife, kind of. Um, and it's still a very technical and difficult track, and I like challenges. So this is definitely the thing I really want to race on, which is a dream I can probably not relate because I never actually participate in. But this is one of the tracks I definitely want to do. I mean, everybody talks about Le Mans. Yeah, yeah, sure, that would be also great, but also something you can't achieve with unless you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually Le Mans and Bathurst would be the two tracks I actually wanted to race on if I could.
I tried Bathurst on Grid Legends. I think it was a nightmare. Oh dear. Is there a racing driver you would really like to meet? Or someone
Mm.
else connected to racing? The answer of one of my viewers was visiting Zach Brown's collection. He collects those race cars like I collect the models. Okay.
Yeah, I think I have luckily the chance to meet some drivers in the paddock. I mean, walking by and seeing them. But actually, what I really would love to do is have a sit on and chat with Danny Ricciardo because,
Ooh, fun.
I mean, yeah, I just always see him in the pits, and for my personality wise, he is the best man on this ground because I've never seen him angry, pissed at someone. He is also his authentic self. He's pretty nice to everyone, and he's happy chatting, making fun in the paddock, and to be so focused, relaxed, and 100% giver all the time. This is how I like. Yeah, this is how I wish every racing driver could be. So I really would love to sit down with him and have a chat. So that's what I would definitely want to do. So I always saw him passing by. He was literally standing 20 centimeters in front of me, but yeah, I couldn't talk to him. So I was like, but
Wait, stay still.
yeah, just stop. Yeah, so that would be actually pretty cool. Although he's not have a race seat this season, I mean, still he has lots of stuff going on, and he's actually a cool guy. So
Yeah,
that's cool
definitely.
to exchange with like-minded people, I would say.
That would be a fun dinner or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
could imagine. I
a lot
would
of laughs,
join.
I guess. Yeah.
I would join. Opinions are divided regarding VR, VR, sorry, in sim racing. Some says it's the future of sim racing, but others are not so enthusiastic about it. How do you see VR in the sim racing world? I feel like this guy in the press conference of Formula One with this very long question. As a nice to have bonus feature, but not necessary, or as a possible game changer for future sim racing events? Wait.
I think it's there are people who really can't drive without a VR and people who get sick on a VR. So there is just these two worlds. There is nothing in between, I would say, because I mean, many drivers really like it because they see more on track. It's more related to the real driving. Definitely, I can relate to this. I tried it on a motion simulator, although I got really sick on it because it was motion and the VR. Maybe not a good combo, but it is definitely another experience, and you can be more precise on driving. That's for sure. Some people also have it because they don't have space in their house to just have a triple screen or even a single screen. So that's why they use it because they have still their steering wheel attached to a normal chair and a normal desk. So that's also one point why they are using it. The problem is if you want to do endurance racing, I tried it and you really have to be trained. And still, you see, I wear glasses, a nightmare. Yeah. And I get really seasick. So to be honest, for me, it would not be the thing. And I guess it will not be the ultimate way for everyone in the world to just have VR classes on yourself, unless they are more lighter and maybe in a bit sharper way because you look so close to the screen all the time and driving an endurance race with this 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm not sure if that's the one. I mean, it's exhausting even more. And for most of the people who have a sim rig at home, they really prefer to have a widescreen, triple screen, curved screen, or even a 360 surrounded kind of view or 180-degree kind of have space in front of them. So I think for some people it is the best option because they really like it and they can afford it and they can drive with it. but most of them actually are not using it, so to say.
It's not so common, I think. The
Yeah,
most sim racer I see on streams or whatever are not really doing
yeah.
this. So
I had only one where we had this 24 hours race where this guy was driving 24 hours on his own in the simulator. We had only two VR drivers on the entire grid. And the streams I commentate on right now, nobody's having a VR on. So, yeah.
this will take a long path still when this will really do the future music, and I don't think at the moment it will be that soon. So yeah.
Just checking the chat, Bathurst has too many walls. Yeah, no chat
Yes.
as well. That's why I like it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I need to see where the next, yeah, very technical, yeah. The 12-hour was asim again. The sunrise gets me every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look pretty good.
And the
But
little
at first,
kangaroos on track.
yes,
Poor
the
guys.
this amazing 1 year with the safety kangaroos.
Yeah.
That was so funny. And the kangaroos watching on the side of the track this year, that was also a
Yeah.
great picture. I love this. It's so cool. If not VR, how do you think sim racing could improve further looking to the future? We already have pretty decent physics models, great graphics, so what else is missing or could be improved still?
I think that this is what was, yeah, I mean, people tried it in the past to just actually have one platform determining the best sim racer in the world. Now we can't determine it because we have so many simulations going on. But if we connect it together, or if we have at least one platform in the future which is the best, then of course we get rid of the others. But that would actually then mean you can really say truly who is the best sim racer in the world, and not based on this, based on that, based on whatever factors. I think that's better if you have a decent platform where also drivers can put in their value and give credit, talk about it, maybe actually have a community where they can actually improve it directly and not just via spokespersons, via contacts. And most of them struggle and maybe want to give feedback where you actually can develop it with the developers. So from the drivers to the drivers, kind of thing.
Yep.
That would be actually pretty cool. It's also the cost module, which some simulations struggle with. Some are really cheap, the rest are more expensive. Then we have arcade. I mean, the biggest community is in is having Gran Turismo, but this is more like arcade. Also, like race room kind of simulations lack with some of the other experiences we have with Assetto 2, hopefully then soon, or ACCOI racing. R Factor 2, I don't think we have to speak about this. And yeah, I mean, there are so many simulations out there which have pros and cons. And if we could opt them out to just develop the best simulation in the world, that would be actually better benefit for everyone in terms of driving physics, weather conditions, tire deck, and actually how the cars are modded to the race, so that you also have maybe one time the chance to not only exclusively have Formula One simulators dedicated to the best drivers in the world, but also having race mechanics, giving the data and really linking the data from a real car to a simulation. Because right now you can play around with, you can fiddle around with, but it's not 100% accurate all the time. And if this comes at a good price for everyone to just actually pay initial pricing or monthly subscription, let's say, but not as you have to purchase every single car for every single money, that would help a lot of real drivers to actually also transition then to sim and say, really, this is what I can train on at my home, and not just say it as it's just a fun game. And also, we as sim racers have more the experience and actually the real data from the real car on the real track. So that's what definitely can improve and should improve on the future, because technology is there. It's just quite expensive at the moment. But if we generate a bigger community where nobody's saying this is better, we probably all unite again. It's about not bashing the other simulation. That would actually be better.
Yeah, but that's mostly that's the war between different stuff. So this is better, this is better, no, this is better. I think it's not just for sim platforms, it's I don't know, PlayStation against Xbox or PC or whatever. So I think that's something human we will maybe never get rid of. So I think there will ever be iRacing is better, Race
Yeah.
Room is better, or Air Factor, or Assetto Corsa, or whatever. So I think that's something I don't see in the near future. So, um, they're talking about Bathurst 12 hours next weekend on iRacing. I will jump this. The question is who determines this platform, FEA?
Yeah, I think the problem is if it's just a regulated government, so to say, it's
Mm.
politics behind the scenes, right? So it would be great if it's an international authority as a holding body, or let's say the overarching kind of framing, where you can also then have points and have a dedicated academy where people really can generate points. Maybe if they do driving license, it is a small license program as well, right? So because right now people have to do different kind of licensing around the world. If you want to have an international one where it's not the DMSB, it's not the CNAF, it's not this and that, it's not the FIA, it's not the bronze, gold, and silver, platinum, whatever card. If you want to just unify it so that everybody has the same questions, they go through the same rules, because some drivers, I reckon, have a different kind of racing license and still don't know what kind of flags they have on track, right? So if that's something we can do also a bit better in safety regulations and everybody knows what they're doing, I think this helps. But of course, it has to be not just a government body for the sake of having a government body on top of it, but giving rules in a certain way, but giving the free way as well to develop it with the drivers, like with the drivers community, but not only related to the real drivers, but also mainly for the sim drivers. And that's not for the gamers and not for the arcade drivers, but they can have a say in it. But I would say it's more related to the actual training of how can I train on this specific car, on this specific track? And maybe how can I relate it to the actual real world where you can do a program? Because the problem is in the future, and the problem is right now, track time is limited for everyone. We don't have the budget, we don't have the time, we don't have the weather conditions, we don't have the cost, travel costs, and blah, blah, blah. This could be reduced if you have at least more time to train on the specific car you drive with the data on the track in different conditions. And this would improve not also the safety on track, but also the experience, and maybe drive also maybe more drivers into this seat, because karting is great. Karting is different, but it doesn't help you when you want to jump from karting to racing. So the sim actually helps you to shape yourself as a race car driver better, I think. And if we have more as an open community, I think in the future this would definitely help if it's more related to the real.
Yep. So sorry, I was I was jumped because of my own sub sound. Thanks, Linda, for gifting a sub to King. Thank you very much. So I missed. Ollie was writing. That's why I love beta testing for litho speed giving and receiving input. And yes, the pricing for certain sims puts them off my screen, unfortunately. Yeah, I had a look at iRacing and was so, well, no, not yet.
Yeah, I think also when we give back to the community, I mean, the community pays a lot, all right, in different kind of areas. If it's just Gran Turismo, if it's the Assetto World, if it's iRacing, you pay already a lot. But if you have sponsors as well who sponsor helping develop the development of the platforms, you as a sponsor could be part of it. Everybody could just actually benefit from both sides of motorsport, sim sport in a better way if you connect this together. And you as a person using it might not have to pay a fortune, because you have to already pay a fortune for your sim rig, right? And if you just pay a little monthly subscription, I think everybody would be happy to do that, and people can afford it, and you drive more people into this sport, and you have a better outcome in the end if it's available to more people with better outcome when you want to actually have the chance to drive in a real car. Also, when you drive an electric car, why not putting this as well into a simulation? Driving an extreme e-car, driving it on different tracks. Why it's not only just a circuit track? Why not just try to bring this together, and FE as well? So I think this helps if you have all the cars available, all the different tracks available, and you can train in your own area. Rallying is already a part of sim racing, could be integrated as well. So if you have the different motorsport categories in one big platform available to you all, I think it's a good idea.
That would be awesome. Especially when you maybe want to try. I mean, maybe more as a casual player, you want to try maybe some different stuff out or whatever.
Exactly.
I love rallycross, for example. So I would never buy a platform just for rallycross or whatever, but to try it out when I can because it's in a big package or whatever, that would be awesome. Because
Exactly.
I think it's pretty interesting to just try different stuff out. So I mean, we all are curious people in life, hopefully, mostly. So why not try different things to see? Maybe it's cool, maybe it's not. So for rally, I would be for real life rally. I would be, I think, too scared. But trying it out on a Zimp, why not? I would do this.
Exactly. Yeah, I played on my PC in former years. I played Colin McRae Rally because I loved this, but I never went into rallying. Although I would love to do in one way, but yeah, it got me then still hooked up for circuit racing. So why not? Just if you have the chance, this drives maybe people from one side to the other.
Right. That's and maybe you find something you to think, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I want to try it in real life or whatever. So I think that's a good way to test stuff out. So, yep. Wait, chat jumped down. But there was another question from Killing. Killing has many good questions today. Do you believe the end of combustion car racing is near as every country pushes for a switch to electric cars, or it is still a few decades away?
Yeah, I think this is what we are all fearing as race car drivers, that this combustion engine will come to an end because of the environmental issues we have and all the discussions around it. Still, companies bailing out of racing because of this, because they have their environment and ESG rules they have to follow. But as we look at historic racing, these cars are still driving around. So maybe it's just one part where you say this is the new world and you're just driving more like historic racing, which comes be part of driving 2017 cars around, which kind of be then historic in that sense. But I think as the pressure, as environmental stuff is really increasing, and we are all not from government, also from authorities, bodies, resources have issues in the future. Also, car parts getting out, being out there. It will not be like a super hard end. And if we look at Formula One, how long they have the contracts running, um, maybe it's 10, 15, 20 years. That's what I would reckon. Or maybe 30. So not really in the future, near future, unless somebody really pulls the plug and say, no, it's a no-go, and governments don't even allow it. Racetracks have to close. Then we have a real issue. But I think we still have a bit more time or find alternatives. I mean, they look at different fuels already right now. Of course, still it's a fuel. It's not gas and it's not electric, but it's a good mix. And I think we have more time as petrol heads to just drive around the circuits with petrol.
I think many understands this maybe wrong when they think that it needs to be now. So we have a cut, and it was the old world with the petrol and fuel stuff, and now we have the new world with the electric stuff. I mean, that's not that easy. So sometimes I think many people criticize this, just thinking it's this or the other way, but it's a mix of both, more or less. So it will be it will be take some time to yeah even come to this era to have just electric cars or whatever. I mean, we see this in some serious rallycross now, or the rallycross world championship now has electric rally cars. It can work, but I think for the most serious we need much more time to really got into the electric stuff. So
Yeah. And it's a problem. I mean, if everybody wants to plug in their electric car at night, we don't have the power supplies in the world. We are not ready for everything. And
yeah,
some actually figure out then it's not the right path maybe to follow.
yeah,
It is still a discussion, and if we look at these countries who actually cannot afford to buy a new car and who have like bazillion kilometers of roads where they don't have one tiny piece of electric car refueling station, as we would say it. Um, I mean, they don't have charging stations across one country. Nothing, zero. So how this should be improved in the next years, and we don't have the capacity yet. So to switch the entire world around to just use only electric cars,
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's typical human, more or less. So they see the one side and not the other side, and it needs to be 100% now, and not it's a step thingy again.
Yeah.
You do one step after the other, and it needs time to develop and to grow and to be the transition from the one to the other. It needs years, decades, maybe. So but that's a typical human, now or never, 100% on or zero. So that's yeah, kind of weird, but unfortunately, I think it's a pretty human and society thing. So yeah. Do you prefer commentating on real racing or on sim racing?
It's a tricky question because I like both. So it's just no. I like about sim racing that you have a lot of camera angles you can pretty much flip through, and quickly also have replays embedded. It's much faster than sometimes you have to wait for replays, or sometimes they are not completely possible depending on what you commentate on. So the series I commentate on, we don't have replays. The cameras is what I see on track, so we don't have a full TV team to just cover every inch of the track. So what I see is just a tiny little monitor having just a normal camera installed on the track. So it's pretty hard to identify car numbers, to see accidents because not every angle is tracked. So it really depends on what kind of quality of real racing you commentate on. If we look at the NLS, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, you can follow them with the helicopter and all that stuff. So this is pretty awesome. I had not a privilege to commentate on this, but just the DNLS in that sense. But
The
yeah, I think if you have
future
a
is
good,
bright.
yeah, yeah. So if you have really a good quality high TV production, real racing is pretty cool to commentate on. But I like both. It's the same kind of.
Great. Ollie wrote, still waiting for a better rally sim than Richard Burns' rally. I remember this game, I was so bad. On the PlayStation 2. Crazy.
Yeah.
Kirk is asking pineapple or racing.
I mean, racing. Come on.
We already had the question, Kirk. She is not for pineapple on pizza. She is your friend.
Sorry. Yeah.
Do you believe we should all go electric? I think we more or less answered this question, so
Yeah.
I could overjump this. Killing is going. Have fun streaming. I know you start your stream now, so when you're still hereby. If not, then I'll write you later.
Bye bye.
They tried electric trucks and it doesn't work. I have no idea.
Yeah, the thing is, they had a test track on the Autobahn A5 near Darmstadt, where they had huge cables and huge kind of construction work going on for 3 years, which was a pain in the ass because nobody could actually stop by and go smoothly around the huge construction they made. Guess what? This thing is zero in use. Yeah, because it's not working. You just can't charge your huge trolley all the time when it's just a few kilometers long. So, and also the foreign trolleys don't have the installation on their trucks. So, surprise, it's only for some companies who actually can afford to purchase this big trucks and then have the chance to only drive on this road to just test it if they can recharge. So if you want to have like huge construction works in the entire world just for charging, no, I don't think so. I mean, if they can swap the battery at a different kind of, I mean, if they can swap it, like easy peasy, just plug and play, and also for trolleys, they have multiple stations. Like in I think in Asia, it is the way that you can drive by and then just pop out the battery and get a new one in or a recharged one in. That's then something which can really work because then you have dedicated stations where you can drive by and swap your battery. But if it's just charging while you're driving with huge kind of construction works,
Yeah, difficult. Here's for sprint racing like rallycross, electric work. Electric is a trend without infrastructure in the real world, at least for now. For racing, just give the teams a fixed tank volume and lower that by 3% every year. Yeah, I mean, I remember I was Sachsenring last year, where the ETCR was driving, and it was kind of boring, I unfortunately need to say, because they had, I don't know, 4 cars with 3 laps, and it was not real action. So that was kind of weird to see, to be honest. Or
Yeah.
people are leaving or are left the track because it was nothing. I needed to see it one day because the GT4 Germany was driving after it, and I wanted to see this, and I was there standing. So is it over soon? I love motorsport, but that was unfortunately so nothing. So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of crazy, and they're standing in the paddock and was charged all the time for, I don't know, 5 laps around the Sachsenring. It's not that long, so
Yeah.
was not really fun. So I mean, it could be the future, but definitely not at the moment. So I think that will be a long path. So
Yeah, I think with the lithium batteries we have right now, it's not working because if you have the not liquid batteries, but the hard compound batteries, which are in the making, then at least charging is better. It's not like just driving with crazy liquid around, which can also overheat and burn. So maybe that's something where they can improve speeding of charging, and also hopefully having not to have poor children just pouring this out of Chile, which is also the thing where you just get where you get all the energy from and how the resources will be in the future. If they find something which you can produce in a chemic lab, which doesn't explode, in yeah, and this is really also capable of driving in heat and really icy conditions, then this would be something which is better, also longer lasting. Yeah, but if you look at your phone, I mean, charging at every day, yeah, I mean, you see that's the same thing. I mean, if I can drive with a car 250 kilometers and have to recharge for 20 minutes, my journey will then end at 10 hours later when I go to Munich or Hamburg or whatever. It doesn't work
yeah,
for me. So if you drive in a city, definitely there can be improvements because it's short track and you will bring out the pollution out of cities. I guess in general, this is not bad, but there will be some other, or have to be some other projects in the future to help develop. And yeah, I just had one time a speech about hydrogen because there's also a question in chat how to produce electricity, petrol, diesel, hydrogen, and actually the entire energy for this. Of course, they said the energy to produce a battery is lower than everything else. Yes, of course, hydrogen is really complex to generate, and you consume also fossil fuels like gas and stuff, and it's complex to bring it in, also kind of heavy explosive. Yes, I think they wanted to have the high race league pronounced on or announced this year, which was based on hydrogen. Not sure if this is buried or if it will come or if there will be adaptations or whatever, but it's hard to get all these fossil fuels in kind of a thing, fossil energies together. I think if in the future we find something which is synthetic, which you don't have to purchase or produce for a high amount of money, and which are stable enough to last long enough, this would be something more helping everyone in the environment to bring it to life rather than just plugging cars everywhere into charging stations and stuff. So I think there could be more innovative solutions. And if you, for example, have a liquid fuel which you can tank at the normal gas station, which are already there. I mean, the gas station network is insanely big. And we have this infrastructure. But if you have an engine which runs on whatever kind of fuel we can generate synthetically, that would be even better because the infrastructure is already there and you just swap your tank or your engine in a sense. Maybe that's something they can think of. But
yeah,
I'm not the expert. I'm not the mechanic. I'm not the, the chemist in that sense. But maybe there's something they can find out in the future, which is
yeah.
better for the environment.
It's so interesting which direction these chats always went. That's so sometimes so, yeah, unexpected. I wouldn't say that we land on the electric stuff so much in this chat, but it's kind of interesting how it always changed. I really love this. Hmm? Cat is gone again. Okay, he doesn't want
Get
to
it on the
come.
desk.
Yeah, I try. I'm not sure if it's working. Ooh, he's running. He's running. Okay,
Where is your kitty cat?
okay.
Mama, we want to see you on stream.
I talk with them German and English meanwhile, so they multilanguage
good.
cats. Boop the cat. Oh, there's one cat. But you don't see her.
Yeah, there you go. It's a fluffy, fluffy animal on the table.
It's a fluffy
Hey,
butt. Look, there's the cam.
oh my gosh! Look at the camera, cutie.
Where's the other one?
We should have more pets on stream. Aww. What a beauty. Can I get them? Can I borrow them from you?
Yes, you can. When I'm on a racetrack.
Okay. Take your fluff balls with me.
Yes. This one here.
Yeah.
This one would go on a leash, so that would be possible.
Oh, that's all nice. Nice. Very good.
The other one not.
Like,
He is
no,
actually
my God.
scared. On the Geschirr. I don't know what's in English.
Which one?
Geschirr,
The harness. Yeah.
yeah. So he doesn't like it, but she would do it.
Oh, that's cool. An adventurous cat.
Yes, definitely. Wrong question, Laura.
Yeah, it was a good one, huh?
but I need from time to time someone to watch over my cats when I'm not home. So
Where do you live again?
close to Berlin.
Oh, damn it. That's 5 hours, 6 hours drive.
Yes, I know. Every racetrack close to me is
Far away.
So the only one that's not that far away is maybe the FlyRaceDream, but without a car, it's unreachable. So, but yeah, everything is just far, far away.
Which relates to racing, but the rest you have it close at least, yeah.
Yeah. But doesn't matter. I just go on big travels for motorsport. I would do it all again.
That's true. Yeah.
So many racetracks I saw lately. Look,
what is actually your favorite racetrack?
I love the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful place. It was my first media appearance. What you do? And I love the scenery there, the track. I love the mountains in the background and stuff. That's so beautiful. I think that's my favorite track so far. Maybe it changed because this year I will see the Nürburgring and Spa, so maybe this changed at the end of the season. Mango curry, yes.
Yeah, Silverstone as well. We can ask the chat what their famous racetracks.
Kirk is saying Silverstone and mango curry, and when you know what mango curry is, I'm pretty proud. I know it because I saw the stream as we created this name.
And Nordschleife best track, yeah. Very good.
Definitely.
Of course.
What you doing, cat? Huh? Yeah, Paddy is the Nordschleife fan here. Wasn't me. It wasn't. It was you. But I don't blame you because I'm not sure if I would say the real name right. Magnicourt.
Yeah, that's right.
So we created mango curry out of it. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
It will be forever mango curry now. I love it. I'm Spartacus. Hi Stony, welcome in. Welcome in.
Long day. They have not been driving on this track. Yeah.
I think before I would say Red Bull Ring was FlyRaceDream. Long time my favorite track. I love the oval banking.
Yeah.
It's not really driven lately, but I love it. I wish they would use it more. But yeah,
that's true.
From my visited,
Zandvoort is also great.
Yes,
I love Zandvoort.
I hope to see Zandvoort one day. Zandvoort. So I definitely need to plan a trip to Zandvoort.
Thruxton, yeah, it's a famous track. The UK guys.
Everyone.
They have so many racetracks in the UK. You don't even know. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Really big ones.
Mango curry. this mango curry. I really need to see that. I not write it any time in any article because I'm so on this mango curry.
I'm getting hungry, by the way, so.
Yeah, that's normal here or in other streams. So some of the guys streaming as well, and it's always about food. So it's always about pizza and
Yeah.
stuff. That's crazy. I hold a world record on the track. On Truxton? Which one, Linda? Which one? I can't pronounce this word. I don't try it.
Game of play, I would say. I've never heard of that, to be honest.
Could be in UK as well then.
Yeah.
What's your fave food?
My fave food, oh god. This is a long list, so it's not again one specific thing.
It's food.
It's food, exactly. No, I love pizza, to be honest. Yeah, I love pasta, all that kind of bad stuff. But um, the one thing I cannot really live without is ice cream.
Oh,
That's my worst enemy.
I understand it. Definitely. I love all the food, so I'm a foodie.
Oh yeah, if you're attending the BTCC, say hi to Jade Edwards.
Yes.
Hi Jade. I know her from BTCC. She's pretty badass.
Yeah,
Hopefully she's driving there this year as well.
I hope so too. So as many girls or women we have in racing, the better. So it's much more work for us, but I love this.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. And she's also working with the F1 paddock. So yeah, it's a good bunch of girls there as well.
And I mean, there we again on this supporting stuff. So when you're in a group and support each other, it's so much better than bitch fighting again and again and again. So never will understand this, but some just want this. So why do I say it differently? When you're feeling sick, what food always works?
When I'm really sick, I only like smashed apples.
Smashed
You say
apples.
smashed apples like this. Yeah, you just pour them and make like a, how you say it's like a porridge out of it. No, yeah. But this is the only thing which works.
Interesting.
A cool, nice apple in really tiny pieces smashed together.
Like self-made applesauce.
Yeah, it's not a sauce. It's really, you have these kind of chunks still in there, but you just have really tiny pieces. And also a little bit of cinnamon. And it's really fresh out of the ice cooler, kind of. It's more really from the fridge and not like a normal temperature. It's a cool temperature, especially when you have a fever. This is the only thing I really eat then, funnily. So apple is my fave. Yeah.
As long as it helps. It's
Yeah,
easy.
it helps. Yeah, it's just the vitamins and all that stuff. So it's actually, because you actually are not hungry anyway when you're feeling sick. So that's the only thing which really comes into, because it's kind of nice, cold, nice, juicy, and gives you energy. That's what I felt.
Definitely. I love that funny way to say sitter. My chat is awakened. That's so interesting. Yeah, it is. Beer. What the hell? Where is this coming from?
Favorite ice cream. I can ask you the favorite flavor ice cream stuff. What's your one?
Someone with nuts. So pistachio.
Oh, look at the cutie.
Yeah,
Oh.
something with nuts or with mostly with nuts. Salty caramel. Oh, that's great as well. Where's Tank? Tank is not following me, I think. So I think he has no idea I'm streaming.
Yeah, I would say also something with chocolate and cookies and cream and stuff. So with chunks in it.
That's amazing as well.
Oh, look at this snuggle bug. Such
Yes.
a cutie. Aww.
Yeah, she
Best
will.
pillow ever, huh?
Oh yes, she is sleeping the whole night on me, so it's normal. Sometimes I have two cats sleeping on me, and then I'm wondering at the next morning why I'm so stiff and can't move and stuff. And she was just sleeping on my legs, and he was sleeping on my back, and I was so yes, I never move in the night. It's I'm feeling a bit strange.
Oh, that's so cute.
What's your favorite sweets candy?
Ice cream again?
That counts. That counts.
No, I don't. I'm not a super chocolate fan. I can eat it, yeah, but I don't have to do it. And candy, I don't really like candy in that sense. So
That's not real food.
no, actually, yeah, it's just if no, no, ice cream.
Ice cream is amazing for everything. So
Yeah.
I think I need to buy ice cream. Bye. No, not
And
yet.
I don't even have ice cream in my fridge since 3 months now. And I
What?
haven't eaten ice cream since 3 months now, which is crazy. But yeah.
We need to change this.
What about a cake? Yeah, cake depends on it. If it's a really good one. Oh, I love Fanta cake.
Ooh.
This is my child's dream, always having the nice Fanta cake, which is really like a fluffy, cool Fanta cream made out of whipped cream and pouring really orange Fanta into it. And then you have a fluffy biscuit underneath as the ground layer. This is what I really like in the summer, especially. It's refreshing, it's cool, it's not getting you super full. So that's my favorite cake.
I remember this from my childhood. It was a big thing as
Yeah,
I was young.
yeah.
So
See, and I still eat it today. I don't care.
definitely, I mean, I don't care either. So when people says you are too old or too adult for something, just do it nevertheless. So
Exactly.
when someone says to me, I'm too old to playing video games,
Mm-mm.
doesn't
Do what
care
you love.
really. So
Exactly.
or when
Age
I'm
doesn't matter. Yeah,
yes, just do your way. Just do what you want and what you live for or what you dream for, whatever. Just do it. As
exactly.
long as you not hurt people or something like this, but I think that's logical.
Yeah, obviously. True. Did you had some more questions actually from your Instagram?
No, it was really mostly the pineapple.
Perfect. I think we covered it all, right?
My chat is going over this pineapple stuff. It's so crazy. I'm not sure how it started, by the way. I have no idea how it started, but it was there one day, so.
Yeah, but you see, they have interactive people and everybody's getting hangry, I guess, right?
Yes, it was me. This is what I love on streaming, so that's the interaction. I mean, sure, you need some followers and a bit of community to do this, but when you have this and work for this, I had yesterday one day on one guy on stream saying, I waste my good topics like the interview with you and stuff for not enough viewers, but I was so yeah, but I need to start somewhere. So I need to start and I need to do it. So I can't wait till I have 10,000 followers or whatever. I mean, they need to come from anything. So
True, yeah.
I need to
The work
start
you
it.
do. Yeah.
Question: why did you get into motorsports? I think Kirk joined later, so.
Yeah, that's
But
fine. I can
go.
reply. That's not a problem. Yeah. So I started watching F1 when I was 10. So since then I started following motorsport because a good friend of mine and a good friend of our families, he was just 1 year younger than me. So we always made statistics and actually just commentated on racing. We played together, Colin McRae Rally, NASCAR, and all that kind of stuff. So we were actually into motorsport since then, and it got me hooked because I love speed, I love the sound, which is important, and yeah, I love the action on track.
I have a little poor baby.
Can I have her, please? It's so cute.
She
I'm
could do
jealous
this
now.
24 hours on a day.
Oh,
And yeah, sometimes it's really, really annoying because sometimes I feel it's a bit too much, but how I
I
could
could do
be
this all
angry.
day.
She is
That's
so
so cute.
cute, yes.
Oh,
So I need to go back because I can't read the chat anymore.
the best fan of the world is Kitty Cat.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Sometimes I think people are just here because of the cats. So.
Yeah, look at her. Oh, what a beauty.
Yes, and such animals you find in an animal shelter is so sad. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you get her from a shelter?
yes, both.
Both, yeah.
Both.
Yeah,
So
look how happy they are and now that they can live with you. That's the most important thing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But sometimes I really asking myself, especially the other one, the bigger one, the white one. I mean, he is not a cat you have all day, so with his white and brown or red. fur and stuff. And then I really thinking about why you put such a cat in an animal shelter and some backstory behind him. So the original owner said they found the cat and gave him to the shelter, and yes, was a bit weird, but I will never understand people. Kirk dogs are not better, but they are both amazing.
Animals in general are good.
Yes,
Depends not on the spider for me, but all the other
that's not an
ones
animal.
which you can pet and cuddle, they are cool.
I remember from our phone call back then that you would love to have a horse.
Yeah, true. One day, when I stop with motorsport, then I can spend all my money, which I don't have anyways, on a horse. But yeah, I think this is even more cost intensive than motorsport
Yeah.
because yeah, to to have a horse and own a horse is really, really, really expensive.
Oh yes.
But I love horse riding, so and maybe one day I share it or just have happy horse riding holidays.
Yeah. Just get started into stuff you love. Just we need to see when.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you jump up, you don't get into cables. I I begged my parents as I was young to get riding lessons and stuff, but I never get them. I never got them.
But you can do it now still.
That's true, that's true. But I put all my money into the motorsport as well, so
Same, so
a
yeah.
bit differently, but but it all goes into the travels and stuff. What's not covered by the racer side, so that's okay. I love this more than I would ever love riding a horse, so that's okay. I can live with this. And I have her. That's always good. Hmm? She's falling asleep, I think. So.
Yeah, I think we covered 2 hours of stream right now, isn't it?
Yes,
Chatting.
especially I said it's a 1 hour talk,
Mhm.
maximum 2 hours, so it's always exploding, and I don't know why.
Yeah, but it's good talks. We had really good questions. That's what I have to say. Thanks, chat, for the cool questions.
Yes,
You can still ask me tons of it on my social medias if you want, so I'm
yes.
not gone.
I have linked you on the pinned message, by the way,
Thank
her
you.
Instagram, so you can. I have a cat here. You can follow there when you have the Instagram. Thanks, Patty. You have a command too, so it's true. I see you watch the mod chat. If you could choose a drive, would it be rally or road?
I mean, as I'm driving on the road, I would love to drive a rally, of course, at one point, but then you have to really rely on your co-driver, and I'm not. I mean, I just had it only on the sim, so I do have in our motorsport club we do have rally drivers, and I always discuss with them if I can join one. But then they said, okay, first you have to sit on the co-driver seat. Yeah, I'm a bad co-driver and I can't read when I'm driving or when I'm on the co-driver seat. So this would not work. Otherwise, I puke up all the time. So no way. So that's why I said, okay, either I drive or not. So, but if I could try it out one time, I would try really to do a rally because this is what I didn't do yet.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree that would be. I would more on the co-driver seat because I really want to see how speed them up. So I would never do this myself. So I would be ask them to enjoy one day. So
Yeah,
rally
some
is rally is
yeah,
fascinating. I think rally is
yeah,
such a different kind of motorsport to the normal road racing. So that's kind of cool.
yeah. No, that's true.
Actually, Sweden coming up next weekend. So she is a happy cat now.
Definitely.
So Shay, when you have not any more questions, I would say sit through a passenger ride on track with Linda who likes words. Oh, sorry,
No.
I needed really to understand this.
Depends really. I mean, luckily a rally is actually mostly not without walls, but a lot of trees, so and some stones. I guess it's important that someone is not afraid of
You need to
either one of these.
trust your
Uh,
driver and your co-driver.
exactly,
I
yeah.
had
But
a
I've joined the rally in the World Rally in Italy, so that was pretty awesome to see that. from close as I was then back then, also in the media pack, writing about this. To see it from the paddock and how it works, it's completely different. It's a different style. But yeah, co-drivers have a lot of work to do. They have to think for the drivers sometimes as well, that they don't forget to be on time, take their helmet, take their gloves, shoes, whatever. But yeah, it's a precise driving, and you need cojones for this. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty a crazy experience if you can do it one day. But yeah, you have to have someone who gives you the car and says, yeah, well, if you come with three wheels, it's also fine. So
Yeah, that's true. As well as rallycross drivers. Oh, my car is on fire. It doesn't matter. Just go. That's so crazy. And yeah,
that's true.
that's true. Um, wait. I have you ever thought of trying other racing like truck or motorbike racing?
Yeah, actually, I'm not a truck driver and I don't know how to drive a motorbike because I don't have my motorbike license, which I always wanted to do, but guess what? I never
Money.
came. Yeah, I never came to this point. But I actually tried a different kind of style, which was the oval with a NASCAR or the 8 kind of stock car. Because I also liked NASCAR in the beginning when I played NASCAR on my PC back then. So that's why I wanted to try it out. And I drove on the passenger seat at Las Vegas Speedway in a official NASCAR car. I unfortunately couldn't drive it myself, but I was a co-driver. And yeah, I drove the stock car on a really tiny oval in the Netherlands. Which is a different thing because these cars are so old, I have to say, in terms of how they drive. It was a completely different thing to my BMW I normally drive on, but it was kind of rural racing. Better put it that way. It's rural, it's pure, it's shaking, it's loud, it's completely different what you normally think of. And driving on an oval is not that easy as I thought. I said, yeah, it's fine, just push pedal to the metal and you go. You have to follow certain rules in terms of when you cross the line, when you go into what line, when you stay on it. So it wasn't that easy as I thought in the beginning, and you have to really be careful with these cars because they spin around quite quickly and easily. So that was a different experience. If I would love to drive it in a race, not sure.
With so
But
many other cars
yeah,
around, yes.
yeah. So, but it's great if you can try different things. But yeah,
That's true. Someone
I,
wants to know your favorite kind of pizza.
sorry, say it again.
Someone wants to know your favorite kind of pizza.
Kind
Yeah, your
favorite kind of
favorite kind, but I think she wants what your favorite pizza is.
dessert. Dessert. Is it dessert? That's what the question is. It's still ice cream. If
No,
we
no,
talk about
it's about the pizza again.
the pizza.
Pizza.
My favorite kind of pizza. It's always with fresh tomatoes, basil, and mozzarella. The classic margarita, but in a better way.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
yeah,
my favorite one.
that's cool. Kirk is asking if you can get an ice cream pizza.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Oh, actually, there was an ice cream cake at one point where it really was ice cream on top of each other and sliced into pieces like a cake. That was amazing.
Nice. Samu
Hmm.
says you have a good taste.
Thank you.
On the pizza topic. If money was no object, what car would you buy?
Oh yeah, that's my long list of cars. I can't even stop my wish list.
All of them.
Oh yeah, so I have not one specific car I want. I have multiple cars and I want to have a hangar. I mean like a airplane field full of cars. Yeah, that would be my dream. But
Nice.
but yeah, okay, wishing is a different thing and dreaming, but okay, let's pick three different cars I would like to have if money doesn't count. I like to have a Lamborghini Huracan or a Veloce, depends. Definitely a Lamborghini, or it could be an Urus. So I'm not related on what kind of Lamborghini, but kind of a good one, a new one, fast one in that sense. Um, because I like Lamborghini, that's to be honest. From a BMW perspective, which I also love, so this is of course my number one in general. I would love to have for a street car. We don't talk about race car, just street car, I would say. Um, I would love to have the M4, yeah, or the M3 CLS. That's what I really want. Can't afford both. And third car, it's not that expensive, but I always like a Hellcat. So it looks badass. You have the left lane for yourself. It's just for straight driving, not for cornering, but it's a muscle car, an American way of life, having fun out on the tracks or on the autobahn. This is what I would love to have. Yeah.
We just buy them all.
Yeah, I buy them all. Exactly. On top of my others on my wish list.
That's so cool. Yeah, I would say that that is maybe the best ending to this chat. We can maybe repeat this one day. So when you have more questions, you can collect them for the next time. So yes.
Yeah, and I have a personal gas station, that's for sure.
Oh yes, the good one.
Yeah. Besides that, I would also have a charging station because at one point I'd try the Taycan maybe because
Just
they're always
both. Just both. We have them
yeah,
all. That's
yeah, I just can then relate to it, right? So I can choose whatever I want. No,
yeah.
but in terms of electric cars, I would then try the Taycan at one point because everybody talks about it. But yeah, mostly as you reckon right now, I'm more the petrol head, and having a gas station is the best option for me, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our generation. I think people or kids now growing up are maybe a bit other than in thinking, but that's our generation is go to petrol huts.
Yeah, that's true.
So
What would be your cars?
I have no idea because I can't drive a car anymore with my eyes, so I never thought about it to be honest. I would buy an old gem car for not driving, just own it.
See, at least you have it then in your
Yes.
museum, right?
This yellow McDonald's Sebastian Bourdais gem car would be awesome.
Good answer.
Or a pedal award in car.
Oh
I
yeah,
have
also nice.
this. I have this diet cast, this bigger ones. I left them, but for this car for real would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes. One day when I have enough money. But I
Good
think
answers in the
I
chat.
I think when I would buy a car, to be honest, I would when I had the money, I would found maybe a GT4 team or something like this with the money and buy a car for this team. That would be more my dream. Running a team, a motorsport team,
Yeah,
and giving
you can still do it. So
yes,
start it.
yeah, maybe when I have a bit more money than now, but but definitely that would be so cool. That would be a big dream to support young, maybe female drivers or drivers without that money or without difficult backgrounds or whatever to get them into racing. That would be a dream, yeah. But you need much, 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 much of money for this.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
So yeah, I see the chat wants to have many, many cool cars.
definitely. Yeah, there was also one question I think which we can say is my kind of the last one I would say, right? The question would be older cars or newer cars. Hmm, I I fancy more newer cars, definitely, because I drive myself right now a pretty old car, which is 23-year old. It's a BMW E46 coupe. So I know how to drive older cars. This is why I definitely bag for new cars, which have more options than trying to plug in a CD, or which I can't do because I have cassette radio still. So I try to plug in everything I can to just listen to my Spotify, which is kind of a nightmare. So this would be a helpful thing. Yeah, and if I would just purchase a really old car, I would love to have, of course, the Eleanor. That would be cool.
Nice. Now I go into my bed and dream of cars.
That's good. Everybody, I think, hope is streaming, of course. Yeah, please.
Yes, yes. But that was cool. That was cool again. So Yes.
We can do this more often. And yeah, that if the chat has more questions, probably we do another
Definitely.
round. And then I can ask you some questions again as well. That would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe we can do at the end of the year something. I put more of you guests together. I had the whole year. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's what we definitely can do. And great chat, great questions. Definitely. Thanks so
Yes,
much.
definitely, Chad. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much.
Thanks to the entire chat. Thanks so much.
I can't tell you who is the guest for March. I'm working on it currently, but I have the one fixed for April, so I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
Definitely looking forward to it. And thanks so much for inviting me because it was pretty cool
Of course.
chatting with you.
Always again. Thanks for coming and saying yes instantly.
Of course, of course. Happy to.
Oh, someone remembered my blurb. Damn. You should do an end of a year chat to review what happened in 2023. Yeah, definitely. And maybe some guests then. I think when I put money into Streamlabs, I can have 4 guests. I think I need to review this. But it is blah, blah, blah. See, it's 2 hours and I can't talk anymore. So yes, that was amazing. So I would say we end this now before new questions pop on. Pop off. I know you all. And then I
Thanks.
would say I not rate someone today. So yes, we just end this. Thanks for being here, Laura. Laura.
You're welcome.
I heard the cats were enough in the on the screen on the cam. I don't know. It was a bit shy today. Thanks for being here, chat. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for asking questions. I really appreciate you all. See you later, you beautiful people. Yes, King. I just can say the same. So yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. I go into the end screen, and then I would say we see us maybe on Friday when you want, or whatever you have time. And bye bye till next time. Boop, boop.